Put it on loop.
I don't know how you do that. I'll have to figure it out because we have a whole new system here on the Snarf Talk podcast.
It's a whole new world. We've done that like 20 times.
Yeah, a lot of times we've done that. A lot of times.
Yeah, we're using our brand new Rodecaster Pro, so let us know how it sounds. Although if you're on Facebook, I don't know how relevant it is, but if you listen to the podcast, it's fancy, man. We'll share some pictures of it, but it is like a professional recording studio. Jerry's got all kinds of buttons and sliders, and
it's just all over the place over here. And it took us a little bit. This is why we're recording a little bit later.
Yeah, we got here at 7:00.
No, we didn't. It was like 7:25. Don't cheat them, okay? Quit sitting over there and lying to the
7:25.
Either way, we've been here a while going through this, and Chris has played around with it for a while, but actually getting here and getting ready to record. It took a little bit, but it's not hard to learn. I don't think it was hard to learn. It's just getting it set up the way we need to for what we want to do. But I think we got it now.
Yeah, I forgot to set something up, but go ahead.
For our live video?
Yes.
Oh. So it's not my fault this time.
I think we're good. I think we're live. I don't see us anywhere, but...
Oh, yeah, I got us.
You got us?
Yeah, I got us. I picked us up right away. I get a notification because I follow our podcast.
Oh, well, nice.
I don't know if you knew that or not. Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yes.
Hold on. It told me that we were interrupted.
Yeah, because I updated the metadata. It's all about the metadata.
It is all about that metadata.
You can't screw around with metadata. Minus data? Sure.
What is metadata exactly?
It's like the data that's attached to a file. So like your picture metadata would be like the location, the what's the settings of your camera. That's the metadata.
Yeah. Oh, you were updating it because you put the wrong number.
Yes, I didn't update it. Anyway, inside baseball talk.
Yeah. So
speaking of baseball, big old win for MVK.
We did get a win.
First win of the season.
Thursday night. No, wasn't that the second one?
Well, first regular season win.
Oh. Gosh, I thought we already won one.
No.
Huh.
You don't pay a lot of attention, do you?
I pay some attention. I just don't remember. I don't base my life off of wins and losses, Chris. No. It's all a blur. Every bit of it just blends together.
It's all win
into a blur, and it's all win all the time.
Big bucket of win. Dirk is with us. How's everything sounding over there, Dirk? I think it's in my headphones. It sounds like a massive, well, I wouldn't say massive improvement, but it definitely sounds better, and it's got a lot of cool features.
Yeah. Well, I've always thought we sounded good in the headphones, but going back and listening to video or audio could be completely different. You never really know.
Yeah. So
on our end, anyways.
While we're at it, Jerry, we got a little bit of a Patreon page.
We do have a Patreon.
Well, before we get to that, if you could please like and share this podcast, we'd appreciate it. Help get our name out there a little bit. Also, if you want extra content, go to patreon.com/snarfcomics. You're neglecting your duty.
What am I doing?
The sound pad.
Yeah, but what was I supposed to do with that?
Patreon.com/snarfcomics, where you can support the show.
We need money.
I forgot. I completely forgot about that.
We have a sound pad now, so we can assign all kinds of different sounds and be like a midday radio DJ show.
That's
like a morning radio.
Yes, we're going to turn into that, only at night. A morning radio at night.
Sad trombone. So that's going to get annoying.
Oh, it's going to be so fun. We're going to change it all the time and throw things at you like crazy. There's more to come. Believe me. There's going to be a lot more to come.
We're not going to try and become like Crazy Jay and the Frog Band. Q224.
Wait, now I got to be the Frog Man. I'm Crazy Jay. You're the Frog Man. Okay.
I don't know why I'm the Frog Man. It's the first thing that popped in my head.
Crazy Jay and the Frog Man. What do you do as the Frog Man?
I just talk like this. I just talk like a frog. All I do is sit there, eat Heinz beans.
And I'm crazy. I'm Crazy Jay.
But no, anyway, so we're pretty excited about that. And we got a new iPad coming tomorrow. So that's going to hopefully
Good.
keep our show on the airways without cutting out all
Without
the time randomly.
interruption. Constant, inconvenient interruption on your end. All your end.
So yeah, pretty exciting.
It has been pretty exciting. How's your week?
My week, it rained twice.
Did
2 inches.
very abruptly today.
Very abruptly.
I mean,
We got like over 2 inches in the first one, and then today just pulled out of the field with the sprayer and pop-up shower of like
I saw your Snapchat. It was like 15-minute rain fast. Should be good to go.
15-minute rain fast on chemicals. Yeah, we'll see. But no, I'll take the half inch I think we got here. About an inch at your house, I heard, or down the road from you.
It must have been because it rained hard for a little bit, like really hard up against the house. And for a while, I thought it was hail. It got so loud in the house that it sounded like hail. So I went out on the front porch and I was like watching the concrete to see if I saw anything bounce, and it
Jerry's
just
like,
was heavy rain.
laying down his concrete. No, my new concrete.
No, I was just,
Don't dent it.
I was more concerned about my roof than anything because it was loud,
Trying
man.
to use your body as a shield.
That's
A concrete shield.
It's just a very large, massive, expansive body.
You
That
have
I
to roll back and forth very
just
quickly.
constant rolling to pelt my body with ice.
Yeah, to protect the concrete.
No, I wouldn't do that. It's over a year old now. It's hard enough.
It's hardened.
Yeah, cured. That's weird. This is what I don't like about the English language is that so you can say cured in a way like for concrete curing and
Yeah.
getting harder, but then like curing meat, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, it is. It's
It's just such double meaning to so many words. So confusing.
It isn't a double meaning. Cured just means like it's taken some time to process. So cured meat has went through a process that left it different than
Yeah.
it started with. And cured concrete is the same thing.
I see what you mean. But there are words that have like significant double meanings
Yeah.
in the English language that
for
are
sure.
very confusing.
It's because we're number one. We're number one.
Is that really it?
Yeah.
We just put meaning to words anytime we want.
Yeah,
Like,
of
we
course.
just like I can't even think of one off the top of my head now, but there's so many of them. Like I had one. Where did it go? There was a guy on TikTok that was doing a joke as in like words were being created and he was asking the creator to put meaning to words. And it was really funny and super clever.
If you want to talk about how many words there are in English, there are 3 key numbers to remember. More than 1 million total words, about 170,000 words in current use. So we're only using like a tenth
We're using a tenth of the
total
words that we have in English.
Yeah. Yes. And 20 to 30,000 words used regularly by individual people.
That makes sense, but that seems very low. You know what word doesn't get used very much anymore? Caboodle
The whole kit and caboodle.
or knoll. Tell me when the last time you talked about like a knoll.
A knoll, like
Yeah.
KNOLL.
Yeah, like a grassy knoll. The only time you've ever heard that was with JFK's assassination.
Like
The
the
grassy knoll.
Shire.
That's a shire. Did they say grassy knoll
No, but
or a
that's
knoll?
what they are. They're like little, there's knolls.
I know.
German has only 135,000 words, and French has fewer than 100,000 words, and Spanish is even less.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
That's nothing. It's like no words. They're just very efficient speakers.
that's why they use so many English words, because there's so many words that are like only in English.
That's so weird that they have to, and they're always doing this, and then they spit out an English
Yeah,
word.
because they're trying to think of. They're like, I only have like 5
Yeah.
words to choose from. Which one's the right one?
Dumpster.
Yeah, so I guess it's a little Spanish is a little bit of a wild card because there's not that many words, but there are so many different words of a single word. So there's like verbs have all these different endings, like estoy, estás, está, estamos,
Yeah.
están. So is that 5 words or is that 1 word? So if you count it as 5 words, there's a lot of words.
That's true. But it really is only one word because it's just different.
They're going through, oh my gosh,
Verbiages.
counting the words in the dictionary. Korean has over 1.1 million. So when they're saying in the dictionary, that's words in current use, that's English is 170,000. Korean is 1.1 million. Japanese is 500,000. Italian, 260,000.
Wow.
Doobity.
Yeah, goobadaga.
Russian, 150,000. Spanish, only 93,000. Chinese, only 85,000.
The Chinese, man, Mandarin. There's not much there.
I guess not. I heard it's hard to learn, but
Mandarin's very hard to learn. Because everybody says the Chinese language, but
there's a
it's
bunch of
actually like Mandarin's like the main language in China, right?
and the main villain to Iron Man.
He is, which was not portrayed well.
No, but they're
Iron
doing
Man.
him again.
They are?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Upcoming. It might be in the Multiverse of Madness.
Probably. Bringing him back. Makes sense. Who played him?
Ben Kingsley.
Ben
but he
Kingsley,
wasn't.
yeah.
He was like an actor. He was an actor
portraying.
Yes. Real Mandarin MCU appearance confirmed by Kevin Feige. The events of Iron Man 3, yes.
That's what I tell everybody about me. I'm just the actor portraying Jerry Snyder.
Oh, in Thor: The Dark World, Slattery comes face to face with the real Mandarin in a high security prison. Oh yeah, but they're talking about the fake one. Hold on. Shang-Chi. Mandarin will be in Shang-Chi.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the Legend of the
10
whatever
Rings.
and whoever somewhere.
Legend of the 10 Rings.
Terrible name.
Yeah.
Looks like an awesome movie.
That's rough.
So into some housekeeping. It says we got people listening, but nobody's commenting, which makes me think something's not working.
Mine stopped. Everything stopped on my end when it came to our live feed.
When I updated the metadata.
No, since I've been in there, it's been on for a while. And
Sorry, guys. A little bit of housekeeping because it's, like I said, all new technology, so we don't know for sure that things
oh
are
no, it's working.
working.
Maybe it was just on my end that. I think it's working.
Anyway, a little bit of housekeeping. I had we were given an idea. Oh, there are comments, ton of them. It wasn't working. Okay. Nolan says it sounds great. Dirk says it sounds great. And Roadcaster Pro, ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
Tim says doesn't count if you don't post it on Spray Kings. I just like to sit back and look at Spray Kings from afar.
Noel is often used in my experience.
Nolan, get it?
I was ignoring the end part. I didn't want to even say it. Yes, I do get it.
Okay. All right. Now we got things working. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we're good to go now. I want to give a shout out to a man, a woman, whoever it may have been. I don't know. But the person that created or decided for any of these companies to where we're in the day and age where you just have to log in constantly to things, right? Like you have to add your email to everything.
Yeah.
Every single app and update or whatever. Like I updated my Fire Stick because it failed on me miserably, quit working in the living room, and my remote quit working as well. So I upgraded it. And today, like logging into all these things again, you have to put your email in.
Yeah.
And Amy and I have both said, boy, we have made an enormous mistake by making our emails so long. Because it's my whole name. It's literally like my actual name, Gerald Snyder05@gmail.com. If anybody wanted to email me, now you have that available to you. But the person that I want to hug, want to give a big hug or a high five or maybe a fist bump or go out on a Saturday night to a nice restaurant.
So this would
maybe,
be called a spring compressor? Because your spring's not straight.
Yeah, I guess it would be a spring compressor. Is the man that created the little the shortcuts when you're clicking around on your Fire Stick or on a computer or whatever of the @gmail.com, @yahoo.com,
Yeah. It's great unless your email is at itrees.com.
Well, I understand that. If you have a personalized email, it's different. But for the general personal email that you do have on Gmail and whatnot, that is it's everything. Every time if I bring up a login page and I don't see it, my day's shot. I don't have anything else I can do in that day because I'm just clicking.
You should get a Google Workplace account. So that's where you can use at whatever your domain name is.
Yeah.
You should get Jerry or Gerald at Snyder.com. A lot of people do that.
You can do that?
Yeah, if you can get Snyder.com, which you probably can't.
I had Snyderon.com.
Jerry at Snyder. Well, close, but not exactly.
No.
Yeah, people do that. They get their last name as a domain name, and then they'll be like first name at lastname.com.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
You know who I want to high five is the guy that invented login with your Google ID or your Facebook ID.
Yes.
That is genius. And we do that on our website.
Or Google has the thing now where when all you got to do is put in your email and then it automatically emails you the number on the screen. Mm-hmm. You know, it'll be like, all right, you're trying to log into this new platform and it gives you the number 56 and then it buzzes on my phone and I click it. It brings up the email immediately. I hit 56 and you're logged in.
Why can't they all work like Disney though? If you go on your Fire Stick and you log into Disney, all you have to do is open the app on your phone and it automatically works on your TV.
Oh, I never did that.
Yeah, it works. If you're on the same Wi-Fi.
But today I literally got into my Disney app and I never even had to log in. It was already there.
Because
everything else I had to, but maybe it was. I don't have it open on my phone.
This will lead to a spring stretcher of mine, though, since you're talking about Fire Sticks.
Okay, we're leading into spring stretchers. Okay.
This is a minor one.
All right.
More of an inconvenience, if anything. But so in my bedroom, I've just always had the original Fire TV. Not the stick, but it was a little box. Mm-hmm. It was called the Fire TV. And it's from like the first time they came out, like 2015. I don't even know.
Wow. So long ago.
Yeah.
You are so outdated.
Anyway.
Unbelievable.
So I have had no issues with this device.
Yeah.
But two things. So I'm like, the kids lost the remote. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy a new remote because the new remotes have the volume and you can turn the TV on and off with the thing. I'm like, this is...
You've never had that?
No, I've never had it. On any of mine.
Are you serious?
No, don't have it on any of mine.
Holy smokes, yeah.
So I went on to just buy a new remote for my Fire TV box, my old one. And they're like $30.
Yeah.
But a whole new Fire Stick is $30.
I know. That's why I bought a new Fire Stick.
And so anyway, the Fire TV, the only downside of it was, and I was thinking about getting rid of it anyway, everything works on it except you can't get Apple TV. The Apple TV app does not work on the old Fire Sticks.
Oh, yeah. On the old Fire Sticks, right. Because I've got it on mine.
Yes. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to buy the new 4K.
Yep.
You know,
that's what I did.
The new remote, everything. So I got this thing. And what a piece of crap this thing is. It constantly is shutting down just randomly.
Oh, really?
Apps won't work, and I got to restart it all the time.
So this is the experience I kind of had with the older one the first one I bought, which would have been at least 3 years ago now. It was 3 years ago, and it lagged really bad. It was always lagging really bad. And the one I just started today is the new one that you're talking about. It's never crashed as of yet. It's only been 1 day, not even. It's been 8 hours, 9 hours, and it's never crashed. It's never went bad, but it still is laggy.
Oh, it's
compared
laggy.
to everything
it's
else.
Hardcore laggy, and also has barely any storage. I just put all my normal apps on there, and it's full. Like if I try to download something else, it's like full.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep away from getting too many apps because I don't need them. I don't need them.
Either.
They're
but
all the same thing. And honestly, I just got YouTube TV. I got away from Hulu Live. Hulu Live is the biggest hot garbage you could ever imagine. It's the same thing you're talking about. It would not. I get it because I want to watch baseball games. I don't have any other way to watch the White Sox because they don't play on like 2579. You know, like they don't ever play on it. 26 every once in a while, but they're on NBC Sports Chicago, and The only way to get that is have a satellite or one of these subscription channels. So I just get it during the baseball season. Hulu Live, I tell you what, unbelievably, like it would just shut the whole program off because it can't load it. Or then when you load it, every single pitch, and I'm not joking, the pitcher will get the ball and he goes to pitch and it completely stops. And then you'll still hear the audio. Something happens, and then it just flashes back to like a guy trotting back to the dugout. Like, what happened? What just happened? I heard all of the audio and it sounded super exciting, but everything froze. YouTube, not that way. It's
way better.
Far, far superior.
Plus, you get YouTube Premium, right? So you get no ads on your YouTube channel. Plus, you get the YouTube content.
Right.
And do you also get YouTube Music with it? Because I have YouTube Music.
I already have YouTube Music, so it might be blended into that.
I wonder if it blends in, because that's $10 a month.
Yeah,
so
it might be blended into that, because I also do have YouTube Music. But yeah, far superior app. YouTube TV is incredibly fluid through the whole app. Like anything you wanted to search,
it's Google, man.
It's clunky. I don't like the way it's set up a little bit with the home screen. Seems a little clunky and like cluttered on what you want to see, but it's literally go up to search. I mean, you could go up and search anything that you wanted to find and watch it. But it also has a live TV portion. You go to the live TV. I've already selected that the White Sox are one of my favorite teams. It'll pull them up right away as like one of the first selections, and you can get on it right away.
Well, anyway,
works far better.
This new Fire Stick is absolute garbage. I mean, I'm telling you, it will completely turn off and crash 2 times a night.
I haven't had that yet.
So I'm about ready. I think they're just making garbage trying to get you to pay up for the Cube, the Fire Cube.
I have the Cube, and I haven't used it in over a year. But it was the first generation.
Yeah, the new. They're like $100 instead of 30.
Oh wait, maybe I'm thinking of.
You have the recast, right?
Yeah, I've got the recast.
No,
I thought that's what you were
is just
talking
like
about.
the upgrade. Like you can get the Fire Stick or you can get the Fire Cube.
And shoot! If I would have known that.
It's got more horsepower, more storage. It's got a better processor, but also it's an Alexa device.
Oh, okay. Well, the remote's an Alexa thing, but it's.
I think it has a speaker in it, like a regular Alexa, but I don't know that for sure. Anyway, that was my spring stretcher. New Fire Stick, complete lemon. And by the way, how did lemon get such a bad rap?
Sour.
That's why?
It's all because, it's a sour thing.
But it's got to be one of the like most. I understand that it's not one of the most popular fruits as far as like just eating a fruit,
but it's
in everything.
It's widely popular in cooking.
Yeah,
I mean lemon zest
cooking,
and
drinks.
adding lemon to food is across the board. I think a very like high end thing to do. People do it all the time. All high end cooking is adding some sort of acid like that. To food
and drinks, lemonade.
Yeah.
I mean,
water.
Lemon's got to be one of the most. I mean, there's a lot more lemons consumed than bananas. I bet you.
The only reason they say a lemon is because it leaves a sour taste in your mouth. Yeah. Now you got it was all coming to you as I said it. Yeah.
Well, anyway, so new Fire Sticks. Do not recommend. Although I love the TV controls.
Yeah. I mean, I like mine so far. It hasn't.
The only thing it doesn't have is I wish they had an extra button that you could assign to some sort of thing on your TV. Like I wish
like laundry. Like I'm gonna assign this button to do laundry.
Yeah, I'm gonna click the laundry button.
Are you that lazy?
The one I use the most is a sleep timer. I use that every night.
You do?
Yeah, it's a 60 minutes, and I watch a show, and then if I fall asleep, the TV turns off.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah, you don't use a sleep timer?
I never use it
because otherwise I wake up at like 2 a.m.
And the TV's still going, or mine will black out. Mine will turn itself off eventually, because if the program isn't being like active enough, like it'll only run for so long, like Netflix or Apple TV.
But 4 hours.
Yes, it will be 4 hours, and you'll go through 7 episodes, and then it eventually goes black on its own.
Yeah.
And then I think the TV's
But
off,
I set it for 60 minutes because I know if I don't fall asleep, I can just reset it. But if I do, it doesn't run through every episode of a show.
Yeah.
So I know where to go back to.
That's such a good idea. That's what I was thinking. Is as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, I wouldn't have had to go back so many times.
This feature
shows.
That's been available since probably the 80s.
Since TVs were like created. I know. Sleep timers were a big thing when we were kids, I feel like.
Yeah, they all had sleep timers. They were probably new at the time. That's why they were probably
Yeah,
big thing.
everybody's like, set the timer.
Because when we
Gotta
were
shut the TV off.
when we were little kids, I mean, there weren't remotes. They had the little clunker dials on the TV
Yep, I remember having to get up and turn the dial for Dad.
and the big Zenith cabinet.
We didn't have a big Zenith cabinet. We had just a TV that sat on a table. It was like gray.
A table TV?
Yeah. Is that what they are called? I don't know.
No.
Okay. You had like a box.
It was like a piece of furniture with a TV in it.
Yeah, we didn't have that. Can't afford that kind of stuff. That was way too expensive. We just had one that sat on
A Magnavox.
another TV or another like table, and you just go up there and click dials.
My grandma had the one that was in the cabinet, but it had the little rolling doors
That
you could
covered it
close-
up.
Cover it. Ours didn't have that. It wasn't that fancy, but it was just like in a wooden box, basically.
Do you know how recent like these thin TVs really are?
Very recent.
It's
I mean,
incredible.
when I was in college, so my senior year of college, so I was 22 years old, was the first time I can really remember like commercial flat screen TVs. And my roommate at the time was like hardcore. He's like, I don't even care how much they cost. I'm getting one of these flat TVs. So we had a regular tube TV. I'm getting one of these TVs. So I'm like, all right.
But
So
it
we
still
go
had the
to-
big back.
We went to,
Right?
yeah, it was pretty thick still, but it was a LCD TV.
Okay.
Anyway, so we go to Circuit City or somewhere. I think it was Circuit City. And he bought a Polaroid flat screen TV. Yeah, and it was still pretty heavy, still pretty thick. I mean, it was still a whatever. And I think he paid $2,500 for it. And it was 30.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe 28, 30 inches, 32 inches. It was under 32 inches, somewhere in that range. So he paid like $2,500 for like a 32-inch TV. And I remember saying at the time, I'm like, don't do this.
That seems
Because we had a pretty big, the tube TV that we were replacing was bigger than the flat screen, but it wasn't widescreen, of course.
of course, yeah.
But it really was a bummer because most of my DVD collection up until that point was I specifically bought full screen DVDs
Right.
to play
instead
on
of widescreen.
square TVs. Because most people still bought the widescreen, but I hated the tiny little picture.
I did too. I never liked a widescreen video or movie.
So now all of my DVDs, and that was before you had to buy either or version. You couldn't get a disc that had both. Some of the discs would have two sides, and
Yes.
one side would be full screen, one side would be widescreen.
So what year would that have been for you?
It would have been 2006.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. When I came home from my deployment in late 2007, was it, or 8? Boy, I can't remember now. 8. It was late 2008. Anyway, I get home. I actually had money. I never really had any money before, like saved up money. And when I got home, I had bought a truck and boots, some cowboy boots, and a TV. And my dad's like, "You are the biggest hillbilly I've ever seen in my life." He's like, "You walk in with a new pair of boots carrying a TV that you just hauled out of your new truck. Like, what are you doing?" But I did. They called it a flat screen.
Oh, but it was a tube TV.
It was
with
still a
flat
tube
screen.
TV, but it was a flat screen on the
Yeah.
front.
You know what? The big difference there, they had those TVs had 480p, so they had 480 progressive scan TVs.
Oh,
so it was
okay.
still standard definition, but it was a better picture because it was progressive scan instead of the normal tube TVs, which were 480i interlaced.
Yes.
So it was a smoother picture because every row of pixels in order was filling in,
Yeah. I loved it.
and it is a better picture.
I thought it was a great TV, but I didn't have it for very long, and it was still heavier now.
Did it have the speakers on the side?
Yep.
Yeah,
On the
I know
side
the
of it.
exact TV you're talking.
And I bought that. I had it at my mom and dad's house for about not even a year before I had bought my own house and moved it over there. And then it lived there for quite a while. I remember having it in the attic for about 5 years before we ever tried to do something with it. Nobody wanted it. Because by that point, I had already gotten a Vizio, a flat screen Vizio that you could mount on the wall. And it was like, wow, we've really made it.
I just got rid of like the first flat screen TV I ever bought, which would have been, I mean, we used his in our senior year, and then after that, we moved in together for several years. So we were using that for a long time after that. So I think like 2011 or 12, I bought my first flat screen Sony 52-inch.
We'll be using all of this recording because this stopped.
What stopped?
The GarageBand.
Why?
I don't know. I just looked it up. It had a report on there that this quit talking to each other.
Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, we're gonna have some growing pains.
Yeah, it'll happen. But we have all of the recording right here.
Yeah. Just no editing capability.
Correct. So don't screw up.
I mean, you have to edit on the fly. That's the whole point. That's why you get a mixer.
There's no way you can edit on the fly if somebody like screws something up or you say something and you're like, we got to take that out. You can't do that.
There's supposed to be a button that you can assign so it like cuts somebody's mic real quickly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could cut you like
No,
boop,
right. Obviously.
like
but
doing this. Boop. You know?
yeah, don't do that.
Okay. All right. I won't do that.
Are you monitoring our levels?
Yeah, we're good, man.
All right.
All of it's good.
This thing's pretty fancy, but it's going to definitely take a learning curve.
It is.
Speaking of that, so we're improving the podcast. We got a new mixer, we got a new iPad, and we have a new idea from my wife.
It was? I thought it was all coming from you. I thought it was just flowing.
Do you know what it is? No, you don't know what it is.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the comic book idea.
Oh, no. We got that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, Marley had an idea because she subscribed to a Patreon for Crime Junkies podcast that she listens to.
Okay. A lot of people are
She's
on
not
that.
a subscriber to our Patreon, but she is a subscriber to Crime Junkies.
Makes sense.
And so she was just blown away. She's like, I subscribed to their Patreon. I don't know how much she paid per month, but
Lots. Probably $100
I think probably $5. And she goes, they sent me stickers. And I'm like, yeah,
We did that.
we send them stickers too.
Yeah, we've been doing the same thing.
She's like, you guys have stickers? I'm like, yeah.
Wait, she asked if we had stickers? She has to know we have stickers.
I think she meant
They're
like
stuck around
sent
all
out.
over.
Yeah, to send out. Anyway, she said, yeah, well, they sent a bunch of different stickers for various things. And she goes, you guys should have a whole line of stickers. So like you have
a pantheon of stickers.
you have like a spring stretcher sticker. So it'll be like Snarf Talk spring stretchers with its own artwork. And
That's
that is
a
a sticker.
good idea.
And so we started going like spitballing some ideas. And I thought we could do like a Snarf recommends sticker because people could stick it places.
Yes.
We could do a Snarf Talk road trip sticker.
Yep.
And it could be me and you on
Riding
a
goats.
goat. One goat.
Okay. Of
With the
course.
hobo packs with the
Yeah.
sticks.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So if you guys have any other sticker ideas, let us know because I think that would be great.
This is such a simple idea that
Yeah, I
I
know.
feel like almost like an idiot that I've never thought of it
Right,
before.
exactly. I thought the same thing. I'm like, yeah, we should totally do
Yes,
that.
you're right. I mean, that makes complete sense. A spring stretchers one? Of course we should have that.
Yeah. So we got to find our buddy Iman Macias.
Yeah, we're gonna
Eric?
have to get in. We're gonna have to get in touch and say, "Hey, listen,
We need a caricature of us riding goats.
yeah," and a goat stretching a
goat.
spring
Yes.
or being stretched like a spring.
I think it's just we can just do one that's like a stretched spring and it just has like our logo on it somehow.
Or maybe just a really insane raged face on a goat that is pulling a spring.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So pissed off because like my whole butter rant, you know,
Yeah.
we could have a butter sticker.
So if you guys got any ideas, if we use your idea,
The Giamatti.
I'm not getting any of the
Yeah,
comments.
Dirk said your butter goes here. That's a sticker.
I don't know why my Facebook is not working, but so that is
Nolan did tell us earlier when we were talking about lemons. He said lemons are actually man-made, a cross between a sour orange and a citron.
most of our food is man-made.
A
Almost,
lot of it is.
yeah. Very little of what we eat has any bearing or resemblance to the original. You should see what corn looked like. It basically looked like grass. It had like a grass type head on it. Like
Did it
was
really?
Very, very small. Apples were originally more like crab apples. Very small, sour.
Well, and all apples are still grafted, like apple trees, aren't they?
I don't know if they all are, but most apple trees if you go buy an apple tree, yeah, most of them are grafted on a different rootstock and have most trees in general every tree we plant is grafted onto a different rootstock.
Is it really? Mm-hmm. What's the purpose of that?
Better, more hardy rootstocks.
Oh, so you're like giving it an advantage.
Yeah, you're giving
to
it
grow.
an advantage.
But it could be of the same variety.
Could be or not.
But I mean, if you're trying to keep a line of trees, like you would have to put it with the same type of rootstock, wouldn't you?
No, not at all.
Why?
No, I mean, if the tree is the top part, I mean, the rootstock.
It's just only feeding it
yes,
nutrients.
Correct.
Okay. It doesn't change the makeup of the tree.
But typically, yeah, the rootstock would be grafted to of that same species, but maybe a different line, or there's like a hardy rootstock for that.
Yeah.
Honey locust, for example.
And they can be pretty big, can't they?
What?
Like the root can be pretty big that you're just like chiseling a little hole into and sticking a stem into it.
Yeah. But anyway, yes, most food, I mean, chickens.
Oh,
you should see what chickens used to look like.
Chickens nowadays can't even walk because of the way they've like modified how they grow meat.
Cattle, they didn't exist in nature. That's a man-made animal.
No, I mean, it was there, wasn't it?
No, not the way they are now. I mean, there was bovine animals.
Yeah.
But they're descended. I mean, dogs.
Domesticated
dog, domesticated cattle. Any domesticated animal
has been
exist that way in
modified,
nature.
yeah.
I mean, it's changed through breeding. All of our foods, they're all changed through breeding.
Yeah.
Over 10,000 years of human agriculture.
If there's one way I want to change anything, it's through breeding.
Yeah.
Just
better
just
living
saying.
through breeding.
Yeah. That's what I like.
When you wake up at 3, there's light in the room. That's why.
That's why you keep the TV on.
The Giamatti sticker. I'm in.
I think that would be great. A Giamatti goat.
I think we should, not the butter sticker, I think we should make a butter dish.
Like a legitimate dish?
Make a ceramic butter dish with a goat as the handle. Snarf talk on the side.
Do we have anybody that does clay work? Like
there's got to be.
What are they called?
Custom butter dishes.
Custom.
I mean,
what's that called?
You can for sure get anything you want printed on a butter.
Where you're
dish.
working clay,
A potter.
Is it a potter?
Yeah.
All right.
Making pots.
You remember the scene in Ghost?
Yeah.
Making the pots. Man.
Oh my love,
my darling.
And
he's got his arms around her.
Your touch.
Yeah, such a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably get somebody at Etsy to make us a custom butter dish. Some potter. There's got to be potters.
I'll look him up tomorrow.
Anyway, yeah, but you reminded me too. We did have a comic book idea that sprung. We actually had several over the last little bit, but we've forgotten a bunch of them.
Yeah, one or two of them were forgotten. Whatever. That's what happens in the creative process. Yeah. Okay, yeah. You think of something,
you don't write it down,
and then you forget. The whole bicycle thing. I don't know if you guys saw on our social media about Chris teaching me how to read a bike.
Ride a bike or ride a bike?
Ride a bike. Did I say read?
Yeah.
Oh, ride a bike. Yeah. How you ride bikes. He taught me while we were camping. It was a great father-son moment that I'll never forget. That came to me in a dream. I literally woke up from a nap and yelled over to you like, hey, you need to teach me how to ride a bike.
Comic book idea. So we went out to eat the other night and we're driving through the parking lot of a strip mall.
Okay.
We go to park and I see a blood bank.
Oh,
I've never
seen a blood donor bank.
I don't know what it was. It was like a blood center.
A center for
collecting blood. I don't know if it was for donating blood.
It's got to be.
Or testing blood or what. Or all things blood.
All things blood.
All things blood. Get your blood here. Get your blood here.
Anything you could think of blood, that's where you go for it. We got good blood. We got bad blood. We got sour blood. Well, that has to be added to it.
So anyway, I texted Jerry because I just had an idea for a comic. It's about a family of vampires that owns a blood bank in a suburban strip mall.
Yep.
And I mean, that was the short premise. We expanded on it a little bit.
Yeah, you're like, it could be a comedy. It could be
it could be a horror, like Dexter.
Yeah.
Very similar in vein to Dexter because they're like putting up outward appearances of normal people, but they're collecting this blood or they're getting people to come into the blood center. And at that point, like every so often, they'll just murder one.
Could it be something like a Breaking Bad style type thing where
Definitely.
it's like under the counter?
There's a whole universe of vampires, and they're like supplying.
Yes, they're supplying
be
it,
like
but
that.
not very many people do it because you can't pull it off. Most vampires can't pull off looking like normal humans,
Right.
Or
Unless
acting.
they're drinking adequate blood.
Yes, and these guys got the blood. Get your blood bags here,
Or it can be a comedy, like a workplace comedy.
right?
Where
like
they're,
The Office.
They're not, like the office, but they're not like evil. They are starting a blood bank because they don't want to kill people. So they have a constant supply of blood, and they're perfect people to be in the blood business because they're vampires.
Yeah,
And I think we both said that we like the comedy aspect.
I do like that.
But we could we'd have to flesh the story out a little bit more. But copyright Snarf, we own it. If this gets made for real this time,
Oh yeah,
this is our idea.
this is our idea. We just came up with it.
This is an
couple
official
weeks ago.
copyright too.
Yep,
All
yep.
we got to do is put it out there,
Yes,
and you will owe us money if anybody in Hollywood makes this idea. Sorry,
because it's ours now.
it's ours. We own it, and
Nobody else has ever thought of that. Blood bags. Get your blood bags here. A positive, B, O. Everybody likes the O.
the universal donut.
Universal donor
Buy
here.
one, get two free.
Of the AB positive.
Nobody wants that.
Who wants the AB positive?
Oh, that could be part of it. Like they're like really picky on the people that come in. They get like all excited and they're like, "Oh, AB. oh, that doesn't taste as good."
Your special is AB negative. Like, seriously. I love it. I think that's a great idea. It is definitely new. Like, that's a new thing. I don't feel like that's been done anywhere.
No, I don't think so.
We did have a comic book that was based around a bagel shop.
We did.
That might have been my own idea.
No,
I have
you
something-
wrote it something like a summary, but
Yeah,
I don't remember what.
And
it
they
is
were
off the top of my
using the
head.
bagel shop as a front.
No, I don't.
Yeah, they were.
For what?
I don't remember. I got to look it up.
Good
No,
schmear?
no. It wasn't. It was the Earth 2 thing
Yes.
where his wife went on the ship and he was going to stay back with the bagel shop.
Something.
I think they ended up both going. I don't know. I got it written. It's in my files. I'll have to look it up.
We'll do a
sometime.
Patreon of that. Like we'll work it out. We'll play the parts and everything.
That's
we
a
have
good
to
idea.
do a Patreon.
That's a good idea.
We're way behind on Patreon. I feel bad for our poor patrons.
I know. Our poor patron
Snarf
saints
boxes haven't gone out.
Do we have? Oh yeah, we do have boxes to give out.
Yeah.
Gosh, I forget all about this. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're just bad people.
Yeah.
You know?
But we have no problem spending the money on a Roadcaster Pro.
Good point. And an iPad.
Yes.
So thank you for that. Moving on. I've got some other news. This isn't entertainment news. This is Japanese news. That would have been something we could have put on there.
No, give us some sound. There's some sound on that.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
That's a good one. Or
Clever girl.
clever girl. I like that one. Clever Japanese. So
That's racist.
why? They're clever.
You can't say positive or negative things about any race.
You can't. Okay, well they
Man,
did.
I'm sorry, guys. My comments are not working for me. Are they working for you?
Yeah, they've been working for me. Swayze no longer pots. He doesn't pot. I love Patrick Swayze too. New shirt, Jerry.
No, that's an old one.
Oh, yeah, that's a much
that's
very
like
old.
your first shirt. Your voices are low sounding. Turn up the volume.
Yeah, I don't know what we can do for. I mean, I do know what we could do for that. I just don't feel
You can
like.
turn up that master.
Are you sure?
Yep. Turn it up.
I think this
See if
is
that's better.
It could be better.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
We're not clipping, so we're good.
You tell us if it's better as I talk about this news story. Japanese scientists have created an MRI that can record your dreams and reconstruct them for you to watch while you're awake. What?
Is that real?
Yes, this is real. This was a real news thing. It is happening.
Oh, deep sounding. He's saying our voices are deep sounding. That's called the big bottom.
That's the big bottom. We could take that big bottom off.
Big bottom girls.
Make the rock and world go round.
Yeah, I don't know. Turn that volume back then if it's not a volume issue. I could turn the gain down a little bit,
Yeah.
but is it really that bad? Because I don't want to mess with it.
Anyway, let's talk about the news article. So this is something okay, well, Dirk said y'all hit a midlife puberty. Yeah, I guess so. Finally, it's taken me a long time, Dirk. It's taken me a real long time.
They sound deeper like it's problematic, or they sound deeper because we have better equipment.
Yeah,
That's my question.
I guess that could be it. I don't know.
Like, are you really now? Maybe you're getting the true representation of the depth and breadth of our voices.
Dirk says no, it's fine.
Okay, fine.
All right, that's what we're gonna go off of. Anyway, what I think is awesome about this, that they can record your dreams. I never remember any of my dreams. I don't, very, very rarely do I remember having a dream or being able to tell you about that dream.
I remember them like for maybe 30 seconds after I wake up.
Yes, a very short amount of time.
Very
right?
short, yeah.
And it's only a small snippet of what the dream is. Like, I've only remembered, I know I've been having some sort of labor intensive dream that has caused me something to happen. Like, I'll feel a certain way after certain dreams, but I'll only remember the small portion of it at the end right before I wake up. If they can recreate these things and show them to you, I think that's going to affect people negatively.
Why? Why is that negative?
I think it will, because there's some really crazy things that people dream about.
Yeah, so
That you would have never known of before. And then being shown it to you while you're awake, I think that could affect people like, what? Because it's all your subconscious, right? Like, it's your subconscious coming forward.
is it? It's not okay. I can't ignore Ian's comment. It was at John Goodman's selling quarter pounders deep. Normal now. That's a good one.
That is good.
No, okay. So I don't know. I don't think that your dreams, I don't believe personally,
What are they?
are your subconscious thoughts being manifested
Projected. Yeah.
and projected. Like, people, there are certain schools of thought of people that think that your dreams have a certain amount of meaning and you should try and interpret them.
I don't necessarily think they have meaning. I just think, like, maybe they are things you have thought of before, all blended together.
I think it's just a jumble. It's a jumble of different things you experience throughout the day, throughout the week, whatever. And
It's just like a rapid firing of
neurons
in your brain that you have no control
But
over.
there's a lot of people. I mean, there's people that believe in all kinds of bullshit, but there's people that believe that your dreams mean something and that you should interpret them and keep a dream journal and stuff. I know people like that. But
Do you think it's like a release? Like, you know, your brain, like, you have to sleep. You have to get rid of tension. You have to get rid of whatever. Like, you have to have a downtime for your brain. Is this your brain releasing the things that you just really do not need to store?
No, I don't think that at all.
You don't?
Nope. I don't believe that. I don't believe that you should try to assign meaning to it.
I'm not assigning meaning to,
but
like,
that's assigning meaning. That's like saying
it's
that,
assigning meaning to what your body is doing, not necessarily what the dream meant.
okay, what are dreams? Basically, dreams are stories and images that our minds create while we sleep. They can be vivid. They can make you feel happy, sad, or scared. Yeah, obviously, we all know that. Dreams can happen at any time during sleep, but obviously, you have them most during REM sleep. Some experts say we dream at least 4 to 6 times a night, and then we all know this stuff. Let me get a little further down because we got.
But what is the actual cause of this?
Well, nightmares can happen because of stress, trauma, medication or drug use, illness. There are many theories about why we dream, but no one knows for sure. That's the important takeaway here.
No one knows for sure.
The rest of it's
Nobody
bullshit.
knows for
Some
sure.
researchers say dreams have no purpose or meaning. That is how I believe it. I did take a lot of classes in college in psychology, and that was my takeaway from most of that, was that like they don't really think there's any purpose or meaning to them. But others say we need dreams for mental, emotional, and physical health. I believe that's getting into like the frou-frou, like, almost like horoscopes, astrology, kind of.
If you think that the actual dream is predicting or projecting on your daily life, or predicting what you're going to do in the future, or having any effect on your daily life from your dream, I can see that. What I was thinking is like it was a way for your brain, since it does need rest, to get rid of those like whatever connections it's made are unnecessary. And it's like throwing out garbage it doesn't need, so that it can process better the next day.
Well, this says studies have looked into the importance of dreams to our health and well-being. In one study, researchers woke people just as they were about to go into REM sleep. They found those who weren't allowed to dream had more tension, anxiety, depression, a hard time concentrating, lack of coordination, weight gain, and a tendency to hallucinate more often.
Wow.
Many experts say dreams exist to help solve problems in our lives, incorporate memories, process emotions. If you go to bed with a troubling thought, you may wake up with a solution, or at least feel better about the situation. I don't think that's because of dreams. I think that's because
it's the process that your brain's taking.
You're
to
releasing
heal
stress,
itself.
yes,
Yeah.
through the night, and
That's
you're
what
waking
I
up
mean.
with a different
Yeah.
perspective.
And that's what I mean. It's like the brain is doing something to either heal itself or rest itself in a manner that will get you better the next day.
So that was the whole
Which
thing.
is wild to me, because I feel like had always had, until you read it tonight, like I always thought dreams happened outside of REM sleep. And when you slept, like when you were in REM sleep, sleeping harder, like actually getting the rest, your body didn't do any of that
No,
stuff.
the REM sleep's when it happens. That's your rapid eye movement.
Yeah.
That's when your brain's the most active. That's because you're dreaming.
That's crazy. So maybe I don't go into that very often. Maybe I don't sleep well, and I just don't know that.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't take too much credit in what your dreams are. I wouldn't stake any of your.
But think about if you could see it in front of you as like a movie or a TV show.
I mean, it would be interesting, but I don't think it would be. I don't think that's reason to do that. Spend energy or time figuring that out.
I don't think a lot of things aren't a reason to do a lot of stuff. Like, I don't agree with a lot of things. I'm just saying people are going to invest in this, or people are going to get involved with it. And I feel like has the potential to ruin like people's mental health by seeing their dreams, because they are going to take them as like, oh my gosh, I really believe this. This is what my brain believes because it happened when I was asleep, and now I have to divorce my wife,
or like
something crazy like that,
or like I murdered this person in my dream. I must hate that person.
Yeah, in today's day and age, you cannot rule that out, like from the way people think about certain stuff, and I think it's wild. So Japan, don't let that
stop. That Japan,
get out of there.
The no button's what you need right now.
No, God! No, God, please,
Stop,
no!
Japan.
No! No!
Knock it off.
We need money.
So maybe you should keep doing that so that we could invest.
If Van Halen sang about it, it's important.
What did they sing about?
Dreams? I don't know.
The Police did the Dream Police. No, it wasn't. No. That was who did Dream Police? Dream Police, they live inside of my head.
I mean, there's a song, a Van Halen song called Dreams. That's
right.
What they're talking about.
I'm talking about the Dream Police, though.
Dream Police. I'll look it up. Dream Police. Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick.
I've seen them in concert and I didn't even get it. I got a Cheap Trick bandana.
I love that song. It's a great song.
Ian, the deepness of our voices is coming from our voices. We just have a better setup now, and it's conveying that rich bass. Plus, we do have a processor effect called Big Bottom.
Right. And my microphone has variable D technology where it doesn't allow my voice to get deeper the closer I get to it.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. You want the D?
It's way better than yours. Variable D. That's what I want. That's all I had.
I got one bit of news.
Yeah, that's
Spider-Woman has been cast
what? Why did I not hear about this?
in
Where have I been?
Into the Spider-Verse sequel.
Okay.
There will officially be a Spider-Woman.
Yep.
So that's exciting.
It didn't tell you who was cast.
Oh
as it?
yeah, it's Issa Rae. I don't know who that is. She's an actor, writer, producer, and director, and now Spider-Woman, star of Insecure.
I don't know that.
I don't know either. But she will be Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman. I always thought that was a great character.
But this is Into the Spider-Verse,
comics.
so
I don't know that much about. I mean, there's been a couple. She might have showed up in a couple cartoons here and there, but
like you said, this is Into the Spider-Verse, so it's a voice acting thing.
It's a voice acting, yes.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm in the bag for that sequel whenever that comes out.
Absolutely. There's no release date or anything on that, is there? As far as
Shoot, I just closed it.
there probably is, but it's years away, I'm sure.
I'm sure it's next year.
2022.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. What about
she's currently in production of the fifth and final season of Insecure, and she also executive produces a show called A Black Lady Sketch Show.
I'm all about Spider-Gwen, and I think Spider-Gwen should have her own show or movie or something.
I mean, I've always loved that character.
Yeah.
I've collected some of those comics since they came out. But this is not Spider-Gwen.
No,
We're
I
talking
know.
about Spider-Woman.
I understand.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm saying.
Yes.
I think there should be something for Spider-Gwen because I liked that
There should.
character a lot.
There should. I agree.
What else you got?
That's all I got. I don't got anything else.
Okay.
Got nothing else except what we're watching, and there's a lot to talk about there.
Yeah, I've got a bunch to talk about, and we also have. Were you going to wrap our other segment into the what we're watching?
Yes.
It would have to be, I guess, right?
We'll do it first. So I love the show. All right, I just watched. It just came out on Netflix. Season 7 of Alone.
I've seen the first 4 episodes.
And I'm a huge fan of the show. I really have only seen season 6. I think was the first season I ever saw. I don't think I've seen any of the first 5 seasons.
I know I watched the first season of it, and that was when I still had History Channel like on satellite, and I was really into it. I was like, wow, this is a show that could be really cool. And then I didn't see the next like 3. I'm pretty sure I saw 5, but then 6 I started watching because of Joe Rogan.
Yes, that's why I watched it too, because the guy who won it was on Joe Rogan.
Right.
That's how I got into the show and like really liked it a lot. Liked the guy who won it. So I was super excited because I completely forgot about it really. And then it popped up. Season 7's on Netflix.
I didn't even know they were still doing it.
I didn't either.
To be
And I'm
honest.
like, great, man. And I love all things that have to do with survival, like people surviving.
Yep.
Like I like Bear Grylls. I like Survivor Man, Les Stroud, like all those people.
Les Shroud is where Stroud.
Stroud, yeah.
That's where it's at. Everybody, I used to always talk about Survivor Man. I tell everybody about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Bear Grylls does the same thing.
No.
They got cameras with them." And
Bear Grylls is basically like giving survival tips. Les Stroud is actually going out there and surviving.
and taking his own camera equipment and having to deal with all of that the entire time. And there was like behind the scenes stuff where it would show him setting up a camera, him walking up this giant hillside or up a mountain or whatever. And then he'd have to come back and get his camera again and do it all over.
Yeah.
So while he was actually surviving in the wilderness, he had to actually produce the show as well. And that's what I thought was amazing.
So yes, I love it, but I always feel like I'm always just like a little bit let down by any surviving type show I see because there's always like some aspect of it that's annoying. But
Yes.
Alone was the first one I watched that I'm like, oh my God, I really like this. It's legit. They're like can take certain things, but can't take everything. It's a bunch of people. You get to jump around. So I really liked it. And obviously some of the people are annoying.
Of course.
Some of them just are laying there starving. And some people are, and there's a lot of luck involved. And they'll tell you that too. You know, the last season, the guy shot a moose, but you know, whatever. We'll get to that. But season 7 came out. I was super excited. Watched it like immediately all the way through over the course of the week, of course. And I liked the season a lot. I thought it was the best. I mean, of the two, it was the better one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, yeah. How many episodes are there? 8?
10?
10?
I think 10. But the last one's 2 hours.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've only made it through 4, and I'm definitely enjoying it for sure.
And so anyway, I watched that through all the way, and then I'm like, man, I just cannot wait for like the next season of this show to come out. And lo and behold, the next season of this show is already out. That's why they dropped season 7 on Netflix, because season 8 is already airing right now on History Channel. They've had 1 episode out.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Time, like season 8 came out. So I still have the History Channel app. I have the app.
So 7 is from 2020?
Yeah, 7's from last year. So maybe some of you guys have already seen it. But and 7 or 8, the new one, I've watched the first episode of, and it looks like it's going to be pretty good. It's completely different. Season 7 is in the like hardcore Arctic.
Yeah.
It's like north in Canada, like way up
there.
and it is brutal.
That I don't know. I don't know if I could deal with that cold. I think I can.
Like the
I
first
don't know.
8 episodes are like through. Well, first of all, it's the first time they're doing the 100-day challenge. So
It is 100 days.
you have to make it to 100 day and you win $1 million. I think anybody who makes it to 100 days wins $1 million, basically.
Oh.
All the other seasons have. What?
I left the fridge door just wide open. This is something I would scream at my children about because that's ridiculous. Sorry.
All the other seasons it's just whoever the last person standing is wins. And as soon as the second to last person drops out, they fly in the next day with a helicopter. So you don't really know when it's going to end. But this one they have like a date in mind and 100 days. And that's way longer than anybody's ever done it.
Yeah.
I don't remember what
is
last
the
season
longest?
was, but it was quite a bit longer. And the thing is, it's through September, October, November, December in the Arctic. It ends on Christmas Day. So for like the last month, it's like negative 60.
That's unbelievable.
It's like negative 30 in the day and like negative 60 at night. You'll get to it at one point where like the inside of their fireplaces are icing over when there's a fire going.
That's unbelievable to me.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. Anyway, I love the season, but it's got me thinking a little bit. I'm like, how long do you think that you could last if you got picked to be on Alone? And I'll say, I'll give you, how long do you think they have to prepare? Probably a year, right? Or 6
I'm sure.
months.
Yeah.
Say you had 6 months to prepare.
But then again, a lot of these people are doing this kind of stuff as their
Almost
their
everybody that
lifestyles.
goes on this show is some form of survivalist as far as they teach classes. Although, as you've seen in the show in the past, some people teach classes, but they don't last very long when they get out there.
No. And then there's other people that go and live this way for portions of the year. And they do it on purpose.
In the case of
like off the grid.
season 7, I mean, there's at least one guy in there that lives like this all year long. That's just the way he lives. But anyway, let's say they come in and they're like, Jerry, you're picked.
Okay.
You're going to be on Alone season 9. And they're not all up in the Arctic. Some of them aren't. One season was in Patagonia.
Yeah.
One season, the new season is in British Columbia. So it's like in Canada still. Like it gets cold, but it's not as crazy. So say like they're going to be like, okay, it's in Alaska.
Okay.
But
that's up there.
Like lower Alaska. All right. So like Hatchet, like the Hatchet.
I love that.
Yes.
I love the Hatchet.
I do too. So how long do you think you're lasting?
All right. So it depends. So we get to choose what we take with us, right? And it's a certain amount of
You get
stuff.
10 items.
10 items. So
I wanted to have a conversation of what items you think you'd pick, and I'll list them right now.
okay.
First of all, you get to bring like as many. Basically, like they have a lot of clothes. They bring significant amounts of clothes.
Yeah, of Clothing is whatever. Yeah, we would bring a lot of that.
So participants are allowed. Okay, clothing, apparel, and personal effects do not count towards their 10 items. Participants are allowed to bring 2 hats, 1 pair of high leg hunting boots,
Okay.
1 pair of waterproof Arctic winter boots, one t-shirt, 1 fleece or wool shirt, 2 wool or fleece cotton sweaters, 6 pairs of wool socks, 2 hats, brimmed wool fur Arctic or baseball, 2 buffs or neck gaiters, no balaclavas.
Oh, man, that sucks. I have a balaclava.
I mean, a neck gaiter is kind of the same thing.
It's different, though, when you have that separation when it comes to cold.
Yeah. 1 shemang or scarf, 4 pairs of gloves, 2 pairs of underwear, 1 insulated parka-style jacket, 2 pairs of outdoor pants or bibs that are allowed to unzip to shorts, 1 pair of fully insulated waterproof winter pants or bibs, 1 pair of uninsulated shell jacket, 2 pairs of thermal underwear, 1 pair of gaiters, 1 leather belt, 1 toothbrush, 1 pair of eyeglasses, 1 personal photograph. So, I mean, you're covered, pretty covered on the
Yeah, you are.
clothing side. All right, then you get to pick 10 items out of this list. And this is the list for season 8, but they're not all the same, but they're pretty similar.
Close.
Participants are responsible for sourcing and purchasing their own items.
Wow.
Way to be cheap, History Channel. Okay, in the shelter category, the options are 12 by 12 ground cloth or tarp,
Okay.
a 8mm climbing rope, 10 meters, 550 paracord, 80 meters, 3mm cotton cord, 40 meters of non-waxed cord. In the bedding category, 1 multi-season sleeping bag, 1 bivy bag, 1 sleeping bag, 1 hammock. Cooking, you can bring a large pot, steel frying pan, flint or ferro rod, enamel bowl for eating, 1 spoon or canteen / water bottle.
Let's just work through the categories because you
But-
can take one.
You can have as many. You can pick all of them from one category. You can have 10 total.
Nobody would do that, though. Nobody would pick all from one category. I doubt it.
There's
A lot of options, I'm sure.
there's a lot of options.
Right. So we're going to have to try to pick out of them because for sure you're going to have to bring a tent or not a tent, but like a tarp.
So you get a tarp, I believe, but that's different from the 12 by 12 ground cloth / tarp.
Oh, okay.
No, it must not be. You have to have a tarp.
Why do you have to have one? People are building their whole.
I know, that's what I'm
Costs out
saying.
of-
One of your items has to be a tarp. You're crazy if you don't bring a tarp.
That's what I think. You need a tarp.
You absolutely need to bring a tarp. That's got to be one of your items.
Now, listen, I'm going to tell you a few of them right off the bat. You have to have a tarp. I agree. You have to have some sort of sleeping apparatus. I would say, I guess, a sleeping bag, but a bivy bag is like can turn into a tent.
Okay, so you're bringing a tarp.
I'm going to bring a tarp. Yeah.
I'm bringing a tarp. Yeah, you have to. In my opinion, you have to have a sleeping bag.
Yeah, I agree.
So I would bring the multi-season sleeping bag. If
Yes.
it was me.
So would I.
Okay, I'm gonna write these down. Sleeping bag. I think you have to have either a pot or a frying pan. I would probably bring a pot,
I would bring a pot because you can fry in a pot just like you can a frying
and
pan.
you can fry in the lid.
Yeah, you could do a lot more with the pot than you can just the frying pan because you're gonna make soups and stews and stuff.
You're gonna basically make everything into a soup.
Yes, so a pot is the way to go. It's bigger. It takes up more space.
Now the winner of season 7 brought a frying pan,
That's crazy to me.
and he had a reason for it, and I can't remember what it was.
Hitting animals, head bashing.
He did shoot a moose. So,
Oh,
in my opinion, you have to bring a ferro rod.
yes, some sort of fire starter like that. Yeah,
Now, there's a guy on the new season who did not bring one.
that's silly.
He is an expert at
I don't
bow
care.
method.
I don't care.
I've seen on that show experts in the bow method never make a fire. If it rains every day where you're
Exactly.
at, you're screwed.
I don't care how good you are at making fire with natural things. It doesn't matter. A ferro rod or a flint of some sort that you can make sparks from is the only way to go. That's the only way that you can. Not
Otherwise,
even
you have to
100%.
spend
Like
half your time
60%.
tending your fire.
60% of the time, you could say, "I'm going to make a fire every time." It does depend on humidity and wetness of things, but you really only need to do it one time if you tend the fire correctly every day.
Right.
I mean, there are
No, but you don't have to tend your fire. You can let it go out because you can make an unlimited amount of fires. If you have a
but
bow
you shouldn't.
method,
But you shouldn't. You
But I'm
should
just
not
saying-
let the fire go out.
you can't let it go out if you use the bow method.
No, you can't.
You have to spend all of your time making sure that your fire doesn't go out. You can let it go out with a ferro rod. They do all the time on the show.
I wouldn't necessarily be in the boat of being okay with the fire going out. I mean, a physical fire, yes, but I mean, you got to have
right.
a hot set of coals ready to go.
I'm not bringing. Well, let's just.
Yeah, go through some more.
All right, hygiene bar of soap. I'm not bringing that. Toothpaste. I'm not bringing that. Face flannel. I don't even know what that is. Dental floss. Shower soap. Shaving razor. Towel. Comb. I guarantee nobody's ever picked any of those things.
I see a towel could have multiple purposes, but it
Towel?
seems
You have
unnecessary.
clothing.
Yeah, it seems unnecessary. To
I wouldn't waste an item on that. Okay, hunting. 300-yard roll of single filament fishing line.
Oh wait, I missed one. 550 cord. I would bring that.
I would probably too, but I didn't want to jump on it because I want to see what the other items are.
Okay.
But you need some type of rope, and to get 80 meters,
Yeah, a 550 cord, you get 80 meters. Yeah.
that's pretty good. Versus 8mm climbing rope, which is much bigger and stronger, but you're only getting 10 meters.
And you can't use it to the same thing. Like
You need
could,
to use paracord to like weave things
and lashing. And,
lashing,
yeah.
yes, all kinds of things. And that seems to me better than 3mm cotton cord. I don't know why you would want that. So I'm probably bringing paracord. I'm going to write it down.
I know I am.
Okay, para.
I have it at home. I have a lot of it at home. It's very helpful.
Okay. Hunting. A 300-yard roll of single filament fishing line, 20-pound test weight, 35 assorted barbless hooks, no bigger than size 7/0, no lures. So that's one thing.
Okay.
A primitive recurve bow or longbow plus 9 arrows. That's one thing. A small gauge gill net. A slingshot catapult plus 30 steel ball bearings. 1 replacement band. A net foraging bag. 2 pounds of 20 or 21 gauge trapping snare wire. 3 pounds of 1 solid block of salt.
Huh.
So
That's difficult.
I am bringing a gill net, probably for sure, because if you watch the show,
Oh yeah, a lot of people have caught a lot of
they
fish.
produce while you're doing the thing, especially early on.
Yeah, like passive income.
Yes,
You know, it's like passive hunting. So I would agree with the gill net.
but some people
honestly,
bring them and they never catch anything with them.
I would honestly also bring the fishing line with the hooks.
A lot of people do. I probably would as well.
You can make
Although
you
you're
can
not
make
going to catch a lot with. I mean, you can make a lure.
You can make a snare too out of fishing line.
Yeah,
It's not as
so
strong.
what-
It's not as likely, but you could do it.
I'm definitely bringing the bow.
I don't know. I guess you should, but
You're-
that's 3 items right there that I don't know if
The only people that win in this game are the people that shoot big
have
game.
shot something. Yeah.
And I mean, if I got a year to prepare, like if I'm going tomorrow and they're like, here's your bow, it's useless to me.
Right.
I'm not good enough at it when you only have 9 arrows.
Yeah.
But for a year to train, I can be enough, you know.
That makes sense. Yeah, I'd have to bring the bow then too.
So,
So how many items we got?
what are you bringing? The bow and the fishing line and the gill net?
I think so.
Bow, gill, line. So you're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.
Okay.
And I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I might bring the line, fishing line. I'm not sure. All right, food items. You can bring 2 pounds of beef jerky, 2 pounds of dried legumes, 2 pounds of biltong,
Biltong.
2 pounds of hardtack military biscuits, 2 pounds of chocolate, 2 pounds of pemmican. That's a traditional trail food made from fat and proteins. 2 pounds of raisins, chocolate, and peanuts, like clusters. 2 pounds of flour, or 2/3 pound bag of rice, 2/3 pounds bag of sugar, 2/3 pounds bag of salt, all separated. So I'm thinking,
Is this the last category or not?
no, dude.
Oh my gosh.
No, dude. So I think we should move on. I'm of the opinion that you should probably bring some food, because that way you can spend the first week like getting ahead,
Yeah.
getting a shelter built, because that's really important. But we'll move on. Tools: 1 pocket knife, 1 hunting knife, 1 Leatherman, 1 sharpening stone, 1 roll of duct tape or 1 roll of electrical tape, 1 small shovel, 1 small sewing kit, 1 carabiner, 1 LED flashlight, 1 pair of ice spikes, 1 scotch-eyed auger, 1 adze, 1 hand-drawn knife, 1 hatchet, 1 saw, 1 axe.
Oh no.
So I'm definitely bringing an axe.
This is hard.
And I think you got to pick either or, a knife or a Leatherman. It's got to be one or the other. I think for me, I'd probably pick the knife.
I think I would also pick a knife and a hatchet, but that puts me at 10 items right there.
You're not taking an axe?
Didn't I say axe or did I say hatchet?
You said hatchet.
Is that an item?
Yeah, either or. Or you can get a hatchet, a saw, or an axe. A lot of people bring saws.
I don't know.
Let's keep moving
let me
on.
think. Yeah.
And then,
I'm definitely bringing a knife.
oh, that's it. That's all of them. And then the rest of them are just items that are forbidden. Okay.
Oh, all right.
So I'm bringing a knife and an axe, and that puts me at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So for me, I got to choose between a saw, food, or fishing line. And I think I'd have to go with the fishing line. I think you got to have the fishing line.
So I've got the fishing line on mine, but now I'm starting to think that I need to bring some sort of food.
If you got a fishing line, a bow, and a gill net,
Which I have all three at this point.
yeah, I mean, no, you didn't bring a gill net. Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. I did all three.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got 2 more items, but you bring in an axe or a hatchet, right?
I'm definitely bringing a knife.
Okay, a knife. Some people don't. Some people bring Leatherman because they have multiple tools, including a knife. But that's not the same as a 10-inch hunting knife.
No, I know. I want that
Yeah, I think
because you can use that to split. You could split wood with that.
right.
Like you use it as you hammer down with. I think I would honestly go hatchet rather than axe. I'd go hatchet.
I mean, 6 in one, half dozen the other, kind of.
It is. I mean, yes, an axe, you're going to be able to cut down a bigger tree. But a hatchet, you can still cut down smaller trees. And you use them as hammers.
All right, that's your 10 then. If that's where you're sticking, tarp, sleeping bag, a pot, a ferro rod, paracord, a bow, gill net, fishing line, knife, and a hatchet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good there.
And I'm bringing a tarp, a sleeping bag, a pot, ferro rod, paracord, gill net, bow, axe, knife, and fishing line. So very similar.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. But then again, so now
I don't
it
know
comes,
if people bring food. I don't know.
Now it comes to the question of how long we think we can survive. Nolan says bring the salt.
There have been people in the past that have been salt deficient. So if you watch the show, the biggest thing with the show is fat.
Yeah.
Nobody can get enough fat. Wild animals don't have a lot of fat.
No, there is not a lot of fat.
So the best and most complete source of food is fish, by far, because they're complete. You can live off fish alone.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Foraging too, you need a certain amount of plants and berries. That's fine, but you can live off fish
Roughage.
alone. You cannot. I mean, it depends. If you're doing it for 100 days versus the normal way, where it's just last man standing, you can't. It's really hard to live. I mean, it's very, very difficult to live on small game. They're too lean.
It's very lean, and that's what I found out. I guess I never really had understood that before, that the amount of fat intake from small game would not sustain you. I mean, rabbits, if you find a fatty rabbit,
They have a
that'd be
whole
great,
thing
but
called
that's
rabbit starvation.
Yeah. And
Now,
same with moose.
In the last
You can't-
season, yeah, it's very I mean, they play it up.
Yeah.
I think you can live off a moose. It's a lot of stuff, especially like if you're eating the organs, there's fat in the head, there's fat in the kidneys and stuff like that. If you're doing it the right way. But, listen, I'm not an expert hunter. The guys that are going out and shooting, if I get a year, I can figure a lot of stuff out. But a lot of these people are real serious. Like they know how to process an animal and they know how to use every bit of it. And I could probably get a certain amount of that in a year of prep.
Yeah.
But like these guys are eating stomach contents,
Do they let you bring a book with you?
No.
Oh. So I've got this awesome survival guide that the Army gave me.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's like literally, 4 inches thick, and it's anything you can imagine is in there. I've got it in my basement.
You know what neither of us brought?
I need to study it.
Which
more.
most people bring? Snares.
But I didn't bring the snare because I felt like you could make the fishing line into a snare.
Not as efficiently.
Not as efficiently, but you can, if you catch something by the neck, it's going to cut into them so bad.
I feel like you're not going to have a lot of success with
might
rabbits without snare wire. It's probably a good one to bring. But I don't know what I'd give up. A lot of people don't bring paracord.
That's weird.
Everybody,
most of them make their own cord. Like a lot of them make their own cordage out of different things, like different stalks or grasses and stuff that they weave together.
let's see what the people brought. The winner of season 7. First of all, shoot, I just looked this up the other day, and now I need to find it again. Alone season 7 winner gear.
So at the end of the day, what do you think you could live for?
Okay. Well, I'm 100% sure I can make it at least a week because I think I can deal with the starvation that long for sure.
Yeah.
Like I've gone a couple days without eating, and it's after a little bit you stop even really thinking about it.
You do.
So I know I could go a week for sure. I'm sure within that week I can catch some fish.
You can hope.
I can hope.
I mean, you never really know. You got to be set up good.
Reality is that I'm going to have a lot of success hunting with a bow.
Right. I don't think so for me either. I mean, I've shot a compound bow a lot. A compound bow is completely different than a regular recurve, which I have no experience with.
Right.
So that's...
But you got a year to prepare.
Yeah, I would have to prepare for that.
So, but I mean, fishing would have to be my kind of majority strategy for the most part. I don't know anything about snaring animals. I'm sure I could learn a lot in a year.
Yeah, I'm not a big snare.
I'm always surprised whenever anybody is catching things in snares. I look at them setting up. I'm like, how is that going to catch an animal? And they do.
Well, you got to be on their runs. You have to know.
Which is easier in the snow.
You have to know where they're traveling.
Because that's when they snare the most animals is when there's snow on the ground.
Because you can see where they're moving.
Right.
And then you put the snare up and they run right into it. Honestly, this was a big thing with the mink problem that I had. Every person, because I was looking into trying to catch a mink so much, and they're like, everything said, incredibly hard to trap. Your best bet is setting up a snare on a run that you know that they're in. It's like, that is hard to do. That is a very hard thing to do.
Yeah.
To figure out where they're running. And that's what you have to do to survive.
So anyway, I know I can make it a week. I think in that week I can manage to get some kind of food. The problem is the amount of calories it takes to burn to cut wood and make a shelter.
Yeah.
I know I'm sure I can sufficiently build a shelter. I think one thing that I have going for me is I'm not easily discomforted. Like
Okay.
I can work really hard for long periods of time and not like wimp out.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good attribute to have for that show because there's a lot of people that
Oh yeah, absolutely. That
can't
don't.
do that. So I'm able to like just not like focus on.
I would say I'd have a solid 10 to 15 days if I could get food.
Yeah, I think
Easy.
I think if I can't get food,
Living in the conditions doesn't bother me in the slightest, I don't think, unless it's really buggy.
I think buggy would be a problem. I think if I can't get food, it's 7 to 10 days. If I'm not getting food, I'm like I ain't gonna win this thing. So
Yeah.
let's go home.
Let's go.
But
Pack
if
it
I'm
up.
getting food, if I'm getting at least a moderate amount of food, can build a nice shelter. I think I could go a month.
I know I could live that. If I could tell you, yes, I'm going to get food adequately enough to just keep me like at the limit of not starving.
No, you're always starving. Everybody's always starving. There's nobody on the show that's never not in some state of starvation.
A state of starvation and actually like starving, not getting food. I mean,
Right.
like not actually
consuming
getting
any
anything.
food.
Yes, not consuming anything. If I can keep above that level, just a hair, and have a good shelter, a really good shelter set up with a fire, I know I could go that long too by living in that way. It's just, do I have the ability to make that happen? I don't know.
Well, obviously you don't know, but
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I think I do. But man, when you are thrown in that situation and you have nothing to lean back on or nothing else to do, and having no food that you brought, that's what makes me think like just the rice, just bringing the rice along could get you an extra 2 to 3 days at a
More than that,
minimum.
probably.
At a minimum, I'm saying. Because
I would
you
probably
have that to
bring
lean on.
the 2 pounds of biltong, or well, I don't know, because protein's not hard to is necessarily. I guess I shouldn't say it's not. I mean, carbs are probably what you would want the most.
That's why I'm thinking rice.
Yeah,
I'm thinking if you got
2 pounds of flour, 2
but
pounds.
it's only
of
2/3 pounds of rice. But I mean, 1 cup of rice is a lot,
rice, sugar, and salt. 2/3 pound of each.
but you only get to pick one.
That is not enough to make it worthwhile. I would say you'd bring 2 pounds of dried lentils over that,
Oh yeah, I would agree.
or 2 pounds of hardtack military biscuits. 2 pounds is not that much, though.
But 2 pounds is a lot more than
It is
2/3.
not worth wasting an item on when you could get a fishing line. You could, but
I know,
you could catch. These guys are catching lake trout that are 20 pounds.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You know what I mean?
But you still have the gill net, and
You do, yeah.
A
You can
bow.
also make a gill knot out of fishing line.
yes, there is a potential there. You only
A lot
have
of
30
people do it.
yards though.
Yeah. So anyway, I think even if I'm catching a significant amount of food and I've got a nice shelter, I don't know that I'm going to be able to get past 30 days just because the sheer fact of like at some point, like it's whatever it is, it's a lot of work. So it's like all day. And remember, you can't work too hard
Right.
because you can't burn the calories, but you always have to
Yeah,
be
you have
chopping
to-
trees. You always have to be doing this and that and the other.
It's a ton to do, and that's what I think people
Like
underestimate.
just getting water and boiling it. Like to drink water, you have to go get it, you have to boil it, and then cool it down.
Right. Yeah.
Because you can't risk drinking.
No, I know. And you don't have the option of bringing one of them straws.
Although, when we were in Canada, we just drank out of the lake.
It's still an unsafe practice that
But
you
we
wouldn't want
did
to
it.
do. I understand a lot of people can do it in a lot of different scenarios, but in this scenario,
Just canoe out to the middle of the lake. Oh, wait, no canoe. You can't take water from a bank.
no.
So you'd have to be in the middle of the water, which you can't be without a canoe.
Yeah, that's crazy. They don't even have boats or anything like that,
No.
do they?
That's what makes it hard to fish. It's hard to fish off banks and catch anything worthwhile.
Right.
You need deep water,
Yeah, you need to be out into the water in order, even especially for gill nets,
Yeah.
to work.
That's why they're all like out on long poles.
Yep. Yeah, you got to get them out away from the bank. I don't know. I think I could do it for a short amount of time, but I don't think I would be very good at it.
No, I don't think I would be either. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting to figure out what our items would be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd beat you.
No, I don't think so.
I would easily be able to do that.
No, I don't think there's any chance of that.
There is.
Season 6 winner, Gear Load. That was the guy that shot the moose.
Yeah.
So all I've seen is season 6 and 7, and Big Game was a part of both of those. I don't think you can win. I really don't think you can win without shooting up some kind of big game. And I think that would be probably my downfall.
I would want a pig.
Pig would be great.
So
They're fat.
bad, yeah.
Porcupines in the last season, a lot of fat in a porcupine. Very easy to kill, too. They can only
really?
run at 2 miles an hour.
Well, right. You just got to get away from their spines
Yeah.
because they can shoot them at you.
Okay. Analysis of all seasons gear loadouts. So, every single season, everybody has brought a sleeping bag. Almost everybody has brought ferro rod. The fishing kit was brought by almost everybody. Season 7, only 9. So almost everybody brings a fishing. Almost everybody brings a 2-quart pot. Knife, not so common. In season 8, only 2 people brought knives. In season 7, only 4 people brought knives.
That's crazy.
An axe is brought by, in the last 2 seasons, almost everybody. Before that, only about most people. Okay, most people bring the axe. A lot of people bring a saw. Very few people bring food rations. So in season 8, only 4 people. In season 7, only 1 person. Season 6, 5. Season 5, 9. So a lot of people bring food rations, I guess. 9, 10, 3. It depends where they are.
Yeah. Which I could understand. And that would depend on what we're bringing as well.
Yeah.
If I knew where we were going to be.
Gill net's kind of all over the place. Paracord, kind of all over the place. I guess the tarp, I don't understand this because not many people are bringing tarps. They must give you a tarp other than the ground tarp,
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Bow and arrow has been brought a lot in the last 3 seasons. Before that, not so much. Multi-tool brought a lot in the later seasons, especially. Anyway, interesting. Only 3 people have ever brought a slingshot.
I don't want a slingshot.
Only 1 person's ever brought an extra tarp. 2 people brought shovels. Only 1 person has brought soap. That person deserved
Come on.
to lose.
Soap. Just get in the water.
Yeah.
Scrub yourself off and you're good.
Anyway, that's all.
That's fun. I would do that. I honestly would. I think I would do a show like that if I
Nolan
could get on
said
it.
English cities named which, like dash which, are designated that because they are places where natural salt mines are. Literally so important they name cities after salt mines. Yeah, I feel like long term, but literally you got to survive 30, 40, 50 days in most cases, 100 in the last season. But
Yeah, the salt isn't going to keep you there, I don't think.
I think the salt is important, but there's salt in fat. So if you can get fat, there's salt in it.
Yeah. I mean, I love salt. That would make the food so much better for me
Absolutely.
to eat because I would just be dousing it with salt like crazy. I would love that as a luxury. Yeah, I would almost think it's a luxury to have salt with
No,
me.
you can't live without salt, a certain amount.
I understand. I'm saying I want to heavily salt everything, especially if I brought.
Well, there's maybe an
Rice.
advantage there too in salting things. You can preserve that food.
Well, you can. You would be able to preserve a lot more. A lot
But you can
more,
also smoke it.
which most people do. Interesting. We got more of what you're watching, right?
We do. We got a bunch more. So, a lot of big things. Whereas in the last 3 months, 4, 5, 6 months, it's been a desert.
It's been it's been about a bit of a desert because all we hear about is things that are to come.
Yes.
Everything's coming. Like they're showing you trailers of things that aren't coming until 2023, and it's just so annoying. And I see that new Ryan Reynolds movie that's supposed to be coming out, The New Guy or whatever it was, or Free Guy, right?
Yeah,
Free Man.
that was like a long time ago.
It's not out yet.
I've heard it's very bad. That's why it's not out.
I'm positive it's very bad. It looked bad. I was not interested. What I'm saying is I keep seeing all of these reports about new movies and new things that are coming out, but they've all been pushed back. And I know it's because of COVID. I get it. But it's just, why do you keep releasing things about these new movies if they're not coming out for, another couple years? Just give us a break.
Well, anyway, all of a sudden, I think we find ourselves aflush with new content, and it's exciting. And it's like, I don't know which way to turn sometimes, but
I know. I don't know how to deal with it.
there is 3 things I've been watching significantly. So the first one I think we could talk about is Loki, the new Disney Plus Marvel show dropped
On a Wednesday.
on a Wednesday. Love it.
It was a good start to the show.
I've just meant I love that it dropped on a Wednesday. I will say my thoughts on this show, phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. I can't really choose anything to pick apart. And normally I can. And I can't pick anything apart. I'm not saying that it was like this like amazing, breathtaking thing. It just was solid and kept my interest and makes me more interested going forward.
A big thing here is if you know about the Marvel world, though.
I mean, I don't really know anything about what they're doing.
Nobody knows what they're doing, but you have to have some knowledge of Loki and the Tesseract, him leaving at
you
that
gotta
point.
know the MCU, but anybody that's watching any of this knows about that. There's nobody tuning into Loki that doesn't know what's
That's
going
true.
on.
That's probably true.
I thought, and Nolan pointed out, Owen Wilson was absolutely phenomenal. I honestly thought
Yes.
he was. I knew he was going to be in it. I knew he'd be good. He's good in everything. He's a great actor. He was really good in this.
I was like, wow.
Wow.
If we had that on the soundboard, I would play it right now, but we don't because Chris failed.
You're not a nice person.
I didn't
Actually hit that. It actually worked out.
It worked really well.
No, I thought he was great in it. I thought Tom Hiddleston was great in it, as always. I'm very interested in the storyline. I love time travel. I love magic. I liked WandaVision. In retrospect, from what we've seen after, it's kind of gotten from, I like this show to like, it's fine. I loved Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Loved it.
Yeah.
But this is so much different. That's what I love about Marvel, right?
I do too.
That is like a terrorist, like
That was big budget
action.
like almost like a James Cameron type flick where it's like big blow 'em up, shoot 'em up, like big budget type movie, right? The production you could tell was very high end for Falcon and the Winter Soldiers, like watching Civil War again.
And more grounded in reality. That's what that series is like.
Yes, but like watching Civil War again, where it's big and bright and the way it's shot is a certain tone.
I absolutely love that way more than I ever thought I would. I think it stands up there. And then just Loki drops. And
then
it's
Loki,
even more, I'm even more in the bag for this because it's material that is of more interest to me.
If I'm honest, I have never really been a huge Loki fan.
Me neither.
I've never been somebody that was
either.
like, I need more Loki in this movie. It's always been a somewhat of a nuisance character to me in a way that
I would 100% agree with that to a certain extent, although he was great in Thor Ragnarok.
I don't think he's bad. And I've never thought you need to get rid of him. I just, anytime he's in a scene doing something, it was almost like he was the side character only there to be like the one-line guy that caused a little bit of problems. Like he'd give a couple one-lines that people thought were somewhat quippy, and then he caused a bunch of shit to happen, and everybody was like, okay, go away. And then the main thing started happening again.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about him forever. And then when they said they were going to do a show, I was like, great. I understand people like the character because he is, like Quickie Quickerson with his quick quips, like that guy. But this changed my whole mind
Yeah.
on all of that. Like as soon as they gave him this type of story and the meaning behind it, and him seeing him in the show, seeing what actual power was and what he was dealing with, or what he had thought in his brain as being something important, and that people were using as paperweights,
Yeah.
blew me away. I was like, wow.
Nolan put DB Cooper. They were totally aiming for an audience, and I love it. I agree. And,
Yeah.
and an older audience. Like I don't think a lot of young people would get the reference there. And I thought that was cool as well. However, I will say, as much as I love the show and the acting and everything about it, there is a little bit of turbulence that I'm unsure of, not unhappy with. I just want to see where it's going.
Where at?
The whole idea that, and I said this kind of Nolan the other day, I go, it kind of turns everything on its head, because it's like everything that you were expected to care about, you find out in the show, essentially, it's all meaningless.
Right.
The fact that they're just throwing around Infinity Stones like paperweights, they're like, this is a joke. Like, your existence is predetermined. It's fate. Or it's not fate.
It's not
predetermined.
not necessarily.
Yes, they said the timekeepers know the past, present, and the future, and they keep it on track. It's all predetermined.
Oh.
So it takes the stakes away from everything. So if they don't
You're
find a way
right.
to address that, I think it causes a significant problem.
Well, the way they're going to address that is because it's going to blend into Multiverse of Madness, and it's going to change everything.
So the whole idea of the timekeepers is that they're preventing a multiverse. So obviously,
But we
they're
have
going to fail.
Yes, we have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness coming up that this has got to blend into.
Right. So
Because they literally tell you, like, we're avoiding a multiverse.
right.
Okay, well, we already know that there is the word multiverse in a movie coming up with Doctor Strange,
Right.
the guy who deals with time. So we know they fail. And I think that's...
Oh, and they will be the villains. I mean, they will be the villains.
You think they'll be the
course.
overall villains of
Yes,
that movie?
for sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, Loki's going to go work for them to catch himself, it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah,
And,
he's catching himself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all going to fall on its head, and the realization's going to be that, like, no, we do have free will, and our lives do matter, and you can't
Right.
control us, and you're not the ultimate power, and there's going to be a pushback to that. That's the only way to make it make sense and make actual stakes, because as it stands right now,
And that makes a lot of sense because in the show, when Loki's standing in front of that one little computer screen hanging in the middle of the room, and he's staring at it, and he looks at that lady, and he's like, so this is ultimate power? Like this computer screen sitting here just with the timeline streaming across it, this is ultimate power? And it was just people sitting in their desks behind, they were in little like cubicles behind their desk. And that's when he started like laughing about it.
and like, yeah, it is. If you're taking what they're saying as face value, then yeah, that is what ultimate power is.
To them, yes, it was.
But
yeah.
it can't stand. That can't stand long term. But I'm fine with that, and I'm in to take the ride.
Absolutely. I didn't think of it at the time as destroying everything that has been done. Because that there's more to come to this. I mean, it's the very first episode.
But they say they're like, so, the Avengers jumped through time. Why don't they get in trouble? Oh, they were supposed to. And Thanos was supposed to do what he did. And, to these people, Thanos would be nothing. They would be able to hop in and end him
yeah.
in a second. But they don't, because they're like, that's the way it's supposed to happen. And the Avengers are supposed to do this, and this is supposed to happen, and we're keeping the time, which makes it all meaningless.
It didn't catch me that way, though. It caught me as like, there's so much more to this that we don't know. It caught me as the story is going to make that right again.
Well,
Because they're not going to do that.
no, I think my idea of it is that, like, these beings, this agency created by these beings, the timekeepers, that's not the natural order of things. I think that's what Loki was saying at first. Became to understand the other way, but the reality is it isn't the natural order of things. These people are manipulating somehow.
They said the
So they
natural
will be
order
the
wasn't
villains.
right.
Yes. So
And
they
then
made
they-
a decision.
to make it one solid time stream, and that's not the way the natural progression worked to begin with.
Well, that's the whole. This is why I know they're the villains, because, I mean, at the core of it, it's, democracy versus fascism, right?
Yes.
The idea that we're individuals in charge of our own destiny versus a benevolent dictator, whether they're benevolent or not, but a dictator.
No, a dictator of any sort.
Yes,
Coming in and making you
yes,
do a certain thing or live a certain way.
which is what they're doing now. So either way, I think it raises a lot of interesting questions, but I like where it's going, and I'm extremely excited about it.
I am too. The acting's very, very good. Obviously, Tom Hiddleston knows how to be Loki
Yes.
better than anybody on this earth. But yeah, Owen Wilson blew me away. I saw the comments. I hadn't watched it yet from seeing you and Nolan talking about the show last night, and I hadn't watched it yet until today. And once he showed up, I was hesitant to believe that he could be good.
And I'm sorry, Nolan, I got to apologize. I don't know why, but my Facebook will not stream comments tonight. I have to refresh the page. Nolan says, I 100% think the last episode is going to overturn the TV on its head. I agree. There's no other way to play it here. Loki already played that like them.
As if they were children. Played them as if they were children.
I don't know about that.
He started to. There was, he literally got away from him pretty easily and started doing whatever he wanted to.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. But I think there's a lot of false bravado on there. First of all, like we've said, they're not all that they think they are.
No.
They're not as powerful as they think they are.
No.
And they're going to be their downfall. And I don't think the individual people like Owen Wilson's not going to be the bad guy.
No, I don't think he is either. I think he's actually going to be on the side of Loki and be a part of him.
I think Loki's going to have some moment where he makes them realize that, like, they're not, this isn't the natural order of things.
Yeah. Yes. And what I kind of think is that Owen Wilson's character has been studying and looking and watching Loki so much that he will be on board with that right away. Like, I completely agree with you. I already see what's happening, and like he's going to be a sidekick to him almost.
Yeah.
Later in the show, I don't know for sure, but you're not going to have Owen Wilson in there if he's not going to be a main character in some way.
Oh, for sure.
And he's definitely not on the TVA side. So
no. All right, it's
cool.
On. We're running out of time. Do you got something you've been watching? I got two more things.
I got three things, but they're very short. One of them is going to be the same as you. So, with the new shows that have started with regular TV going back to normal, I love Gordon Ramsay, and he has done Hell's Kitchen and MasterChef, and I started watching them. They both have 2 episodes that came out, and I started watching them again. Hell's Kitchen is a show. I want to go to that restaurant and watch them film this.
It's in Vegas, right?
It's a goal of mine. Yeah. And I'm going to Vegas here in a couple weeks. Like a month, maybe right after 4th of July, literally July 5th. I'm going to Vegas. Perfect time to go to Vegas, by the way. July 5th.
So hot. Why would you do that?
I'm going.
Sounds terrible.
Well, because I was invited. I was like, yes.
Insanity.
Not Illinois. Let's go. So yeah, I don't know. I like it a lot. I always like it. There's only 2 episodes out for the new seasons. I will always watch them. I happen to stumble upon them because I got YouTube TV again. And yeah, those are great. But then the third show that I'm watching is Sweet Tooth, which you are as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about that last. I got one more to mention real quick. I'm catching back up. I completely forgot about Mythic Quest.
Yeah, I only watched the first season of that.
Yeah, the second season's out. You didn't watch any of it?
Not the second season, no.
Oh, well,
No.
I had watched a couple episodes, and then I kind of forgot about it. Like, there's a bunch more out now. So I've been catching up on Mythic Quest, and this show just continues to, I like it more and more and more every time I see it. I just really enjoy this show, and I think they're doing like really interesting things with it and taking smart like risks and
Really?
really making a good, well thought out, well made show. I just think Rob McElhenney is like incredibly smart.
Yeah.
and his wife is also very heavily involved. I think it's really funny, yes, but also like really just intelligently done, and they're always doing things differently. Just kind of like how It's Always Sunny is always doing things.
Oh yeah,
in
definitely.
a novel way.
And he would obviously know about that.
Yes, and they're doing that with this show, and the way they're structuring these episodes, and the way they're like making storylines out in a comedy is, I think, really. I don't want to say brilliant, but it's very, very interesting, and I like
Cutting
it a lot.
edge.
I like it a lot, and I think
I need to give it more time.
everybody needs to watch this show, and it's on Apple Plus. And as you know, we have been big fans of Apple Plus. Just of recently, I think it's totally worth paying for.
I do too. Yeah, it blew me away once I started watching shows on that app, which I've kind of gotten away from. But I tell you what, we only have 15? No, we've got right at a month until Ted Lasso season 2 comes out.
Yeah.
And I'll quit my job to watch that.
Yes.
If that's what it comes to. I'll have to find something else to do, I guess.
So I really like Mythic Quest. But anyway, catch up on that. The last one we're going to talk about is the big Netflix smash hit, Jeff Lemire comic book, produced by Robert Downey Jr. and his wife.
Yep.
Sweet Tooth on Netflix. How this doesn't end up on HBO Max doesn't make any sense. It's a Warner Brothers show.
Blew me away when I saw I didn't even realize it was a Warner
I
Brothers
didn't
show
either.
till the first episode, and they had the big
It was
Warner
a
Brothers
DC
thing.
comic.
And then, I knew it was DC, but I just didn't put it together until I saw the Warner Brothers logo. And then Amy even asked me about it. She's like, "This is Warner Brothers?" It's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Were you guys just talking about like how HBO and like Warner Brothers are like the same thing?" Or I was like, "Yeah, I don't know why it's on Netflix. Honestly, I have no idea."
They must have started it. They probably started it 2 years ago.
They had to have, yeah.
So, I mean, really quick, and I'm not done with it.
Neither am I. I haven't finished. I've been watching it with Grady.
I'm on the 4th episode.
Okay.
And my quick reactions to it is I had no expectations going in.
Yeah.
I knew almost nothing about it. I watched
Me
no
too.
trailers.
Yep.
I assumed it would be reasonably good. And it's completely blown every bit of expectation that I could possibly have. I think it's a freaking masterpiece.
I am so glad you're saying this.
I think this show is a legit masterpiece.
I've never thought of the word masterpiece before, but it's something I've told people about it already. People are asking me just in like regular conversation what I'm watching, and I've told them. And I had a guy say to me, he's like, "I'm not real big fans of cooking shows." And I said, "No, it's not a cooking show," because I said Sweet Tooth, and he just said it right off the bat. And then I explained to him what it was. I literally said it's about, hybrid children. It's following a kid with antlers. and he's a deer.
Post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, there's a big plague and all this stuff.
I mean, it's got all the elements that I would like in a show. I love post-apocalyptic.
But it's also
I
a
like
bit on the
fantasy,
nose, right?
Very much.
It's a bit on the nose where you talk about a plague, which obviously this has all been written well before our pandemic and whatnot happening. But then you get into hybrid children, and it's like, okay, it's kind of been done before. Like, it just seems like tropes that you've seen before that won't add up to much. But
No.
from the first episode, the very first episode, just building the
suspense, the cast, the intrigue, the creepiness, the horror, the emotional toll. This show is excellent.
I went back and I bought the first issue. It's actually on Comixology Unlimited, which I apparently still have. And I went and got the first volume. It's 296 pages, and I spent the last week reading that, and I read the whole thing, and it basically covers the first 4 to 5 episodes, I would say, of the first season. It'll probably cover the whole season because there are things that happen in this book that I haven't seen in the show yet. But the way the main character acts, the way his dad was, the way the other characters are, it is spot on for what the comic book is, and that's what made me feel so happy after I started reading this, because now I know Jeff Lemire didn't let anything go like awry. You know, he didn't let anybody dictate the production or dictate or change his vision of what this story was. When you always hear about writers being involved and they're like, yeah, we're not changing the story, we're never going to change it. And then you watch the show and it's just bull crap, completely different than whatever the comic was. And then they always say, well, you know, TV's a little bit different than actually writing a comic. Well, it doesn't have to be. You can actually do the source material and call it good.
With the budget like that, yeah.
And they did.
They spent a lot of money on it too.
The way the kid talks is the same as the way it's written in the books, and it blew me away.
I legit thought before any of this, just by looking at the pictures that were of it upcoming, you know, the trailer and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought it was Maisie Williams,
Really?
the main character.
The kid? Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. I can understand
but
that.
it isn't. It's a boy.
No, it's not. It's a boy. Yeah.
I like I said, I'm only on episode 4. It's
There's only
like forget about it. Just burn your day. And like I couldn't binge it in the situations I've been in. If I could binge it, I would.
Yeah.
Like I would. It's binge worthy. You know, I don't even know where to start, because I feel like we shouldn't get too into depth until we finish it.
No, we got to finish it. I'm not done with it yet either.
I'm on the episode. Have you seen the episode where they're following the doctor and his wife in the town and they go to the weird dinner party?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
And it's creepy.
I'm only one episode ahead of you.
Okay. But I just love the, like, there's like a lighthearted funness to it, but there's also like depth of emotion.
It is very lighthearted when you're
at times, and then it's
at times. But I'm saying, like, when you're dealing with the main character and it's only him, you know, Sweet Tooth. It's only him, like, trying to deal with his things and go and find his mom. Like, it is always lighthearted when you have that one character involved. There are outside sources that make it a little bit different.
That's dark at times.
And
twisted.
it can get really dark. But when you're just dealing with him and he's the only one in the frame, you know, it's like, something about that character, which is weird. It's this little kid with antlers and deer ears, you know, flipping around. It's weird to think, but I don't know. It's fun to watch that.
And
to me.
The other thing that I couldn't help but think about as I was watching this is, like, this is the closest thing until we get the real thing. Like, this is the closest thing we will ever get to a movie or TV show version of the video game Fallout.
Yeah.
Except just if you take away the hybrid animal children.
Yeah.
But
what's happening?
Like, it's very similar. There's like roving gangs and there's factions and there's these little like city, town, states that are forming. And then like you're a wandering
and having to live,
inhabiting through this. And it's very, especially the episode where they go to the ski lodge and everything. It just had a very, very Fallout vibe to it. And I remember thinking that, and I'm like, if you just took this and gave it the aesthetic of Fallout minus the deer child, like you got it.
Yeah.
And it's a combination that maybe that's why I like it so much. But
I'm very glad that you went and watched it and have a positive opinion of it, because I didn't want to sit here and have to try to like tell you why it was so good.
Oh, really?
I didn't want to have to tell. I already brought it up once.
It's right in my alley, man.
Oh no, I know it was, but
I wasn't excited for it though. I had no expectations.
I just brought it up about less than a month ago because I saw.
No, I know we've talked about it several times, but I'm just like, it never. But through all of that, and even I think I saw a trailer. Through all that, I'm just like,
I had nothing. No, I had nothing in me to say that this was going to be good. I didn't even know it was a comic book before. The only reason I was relatively excited about it was because I like Jeff Lemire a lot.
Yeah,
I know he's a good writer. I know he's done really good things in the comic book world. And then when I found out Robert Downey Jr. and his wife
and we talked about
producing it, that's what I had brought up on the show. I
think we both talked about like it had a certain saga look to it. So we thought like, oh, okay, because Saga is like
Yeah.
amazing. It's not like Saga at all. So other than the fact that like there's
no,
it's not like
it's
Saga.
not. And
I would love to see a Saga, and you know,
gosh, if they
this
could
should be in
ever
our
just-
news. Why the Last Man's coming this summer on FX?
that's
FX.
another show that constantly says like, "Why the Last Man?"
No, it's-
Coming for you.
It's really coming.
Okay.
But anyway, big recommendation for Sweet Tooth. I think if you listen to this podcast, you will love it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So a lot of great things happening right now. I mean, Mythic Quest, Loki, Sweet Tooth. I got some TV watching ahead of me.
yeah, I'm in for all that. I got a lot of Hell's Kitchen to watch.
I love Gordon Ramsay as well. I'm a huge fan of Gordon Ramsay, so I can't wait to watch that as well. So
yeah, there's only 2 episodes, and I was surprised that I stumbled upon it when the actual season started,
yeah.
because that never happens.
So anyway, I think that's it for this week. I guess we'll just keep pushing off the Mighty Ducks Game Changers.
Oh yeah. Oh shoot, I forgot about that.
That's fine. I don't think our listeners probably care that much, but
It's worth it. I like.
I
the
liked
show.
it a lot. But we're out of our time for today. Jerry's going to try and figure out how to slowly fade in our outro music.
We also have Dick Tracy. That
Oh my God, that was
we need-
due this week.
I thought it was next week. I thought we were doing 2 weeks.
No, and I started it,
Oh,
but
I've seen it a
didn't finish
million
it.
times. So
You got to rewatch it though.
Yeah.
You have to.
yeah. Oh, I will.
Okay, guys, you get a bonus week for Dick Tracy. Might as well because you got a bonus week for Phantom. So that's just the way we're gonna roll now.
Right. That's what we're gonna have to do.
So for Snarf Talk this week,
Oh, that's you. Sorry.
well, are you gonna kick in the music while we say it?
I can.
It's new equipment, guys. We're trying to figure it out.
I don't know if I'm affecting like the main recording with this.
No. That is just the level for the pads.
Okay, good.
For Snarf Talk this week, I've been Chris.
I've been Jerry.
See ya.